Hello everyone, this is Fantasy Ask and welcome back to Season 2 of Luminous Clan in ClanGen, the Warrior Cast clan generated game. When we left off in the previous episode, our clan leader was found dead in the leader's den, having lost one more life to old age. So now he only has 2. We did take a look at his history of losing lives, along with the history of Mr., our previous leader, losing lives. Mr. only had like 2 incidents before he lost all 9 lives. Lystar has been very lucky. So we'll see if his luck continues to last. But let us jump straight to events and skip a moon. See if Peppa and Cloudfur will finally give us the good news we want. Very desperately. We don't have any birth and death notices. Of course, they're making us work very hard for this. With the heightened focus of the clan, 23 additional pieces of prey were gathered. During the gathering, Lystar assures Whimsy Clan's leader that their clans would be well matched in battle. Whimsy Clan's leader stares at Lystar warily, unsure if he's threatening them. Whimsy Clan relations have remained unchanged. So let's go ahead and praise Clan. Let's see, Lupine Claw can walk and move without pain. Her sprain must have healed. Good, so she's going to be able to go out on patrol with us now. Peppa's soreness has abated. Daypaw is no longer bruised, so the clan is in excellent health. Yes, we pretty much have no cats down. And you know guys, I was just thinking about this, but I kind of feel like the founding cats were in one generation, with Lystar and the retired cats. They were in one generation. And then I feel like Plumraven and Buttercup Dusk are in their own generation, you know? Because they were born, they're clan-born cats, but they were born in Season 1. So in my head, they kind of belong to a separate generation. And then every other cat afterwards belongs to the generation after, in my eyes, because they were born in Season 2. And if you think about it in that way, isn't it wild that every single cat born in Season 1, except for Plumraven and Buttercup Dusk, have died? So they are literally the only 2 cats from Season 1 from their generation who have survived the cruelties of this world. That kind of just blew my mind. Like, we have more founding cats than we have cats in their generation. There's like 5 founding cats that have survived to this day, but only Plumraven and Buttercup Dusk from everyone that was born kind of in their season, in their time. That is crazy. That is very wild to me. Okay, let us jump into the medicine cat den to see what's happening here. Bubbling Gale was given Juniper as treatment for running nose. Dark Pounce was given Juniper as treatment for running nose. Lupine Claw was given Elder Leaves as treatment for sprain, and then her sprain healed. Peppa's soreness abated. Daypaw is no longer bruised, and Buttercup Dusk gathered rosemary, wild garlic, moss, and lungwort this moon. Look at how many stuff we have. Like, this is the amount of herbs we have in the herb stores. It is amazing. All the medicine cats that have worked in this particular role have really done a great job at building up our stores. Excellent work from all the cats who have come before. Okay, let us dive into relationships, see what's going on over here. Bubbling Gale gets excellent advice from Shadow Swirl about something he had been worrying about. Bubbling Gale bestows wisdom onto Rowan Pelt. Dark Pounce tells Bubbling Gale something she hates about him. Okay, Dark Pounce. Okay. Lupine Claw thanked Dark Pounce for bringing her food. Stone Speck goes out of her way to help Lystar with something without being asked. Lystar got a bunch of cats up for morning stretches. They didn't like it. Lystar explains what a joke means to Cloudfur. Slumber Roach knows that Magpie Heart would be saved before him during an emergency. I mean, fair, he is the future of the clan, Slumber Roach. You have served your, you've served the clan in all your roles. You have procreated, even though none of your children survived, but you've basically given the clan all that you could. Magpie Heart still has so much yet that he has yet to give, you know? So I think that makes sense. Slumberroach convinces Oddsnarl to help him pull a prank on a clanmate. Bonesong does something that makes Greyswipe's day a little happier. Greyswipe thinks Oddsnarl has interesting things to talk about. Bonesong gives advice to Plumraven. It's not good advice, but Plumraven appreciates the effort. Plumraven quickly apologizes after bumping into Oddsnarl. They have a small laugh about it. Buttercup Dusk asks Rowan Pelt to help him freshen up on some battle moves, complimenting him constantly throughout. Lupine Claw knows what to say to make Buttercup Dusk feel better. Buttercup Dusk came back to camp sulking after failing to catch Stone Speck's favorite prey for her. But she didn't seem to care. Nuzzling into Buttercup Dusk's neck, she was just happy Buttercup Dusk was back. Oh my goodness, these two are so sweet. I obviously haven't been giving them too much attention because we're so focused on Cloud and Peppa, but it is very nice to see that Buttercup Dusk and Stone Speck's relationship has still been going so strong. Makes me so happy. And the funny thing is that I keep because Stone Speck is training Daypore, I keep remembering that Stone Speck is Daypore's mother, but I keep forgetting that Buttercup Dusk is his father. But thank you, Buttercup Dusk, for reminding me by being so flippin' sweet. Lystar guides Stone Speck to someone she is looking for. Rowan Pelt clears up a misunderstanding with Peppa. Daypore guides Cloudfur to someone she is looking for. While looking at the stars, Shadowswell and Bonesong make up some constellations. Lupine Claw had a terrible dream about Peppa. I think Lupine Claw is having a disagreement with Peppa in... No? Maybe... No. That must not have been it. Hold on a second. I am misremembering something. Where is Peppa? Where is Peppa? Let's see. When was the last time you guys interacted? Oh, that's right. No, it was negative. I wasn't misremembering. So, Lupine Claw discovered something terrible that Peppa had lied about before in the last moon. And then in this moon, she had a terrible dream about Peppa. So I wonder what is going on with Peppa. Like, what did he lie about? Because this is giving Lupine Claw... It's almost like she's having omens of Peppa because of that lie she found out about. Peppa, is there a reason why you are refraining from having kids with Cloudfur? I hope not. This is kind of concerning, though. Huh. Okay. Oddsnarl had a difficult conversation with Bonesong, and they now have a deeper understanding of each other. Shadowswell takes Orchidshine's side while Orchidshine is in a debate. Magpie Heart notices that Rowan Pelt brought him a big piece of prey. That's adorable. A Magpie Heart getting some attention from his father. Bubbling Gale accidentally hurts Bonesong during an argument between them. Bonesong, Peppa, and Rowan Pelt had a nice talk while eating. Peppa and Greyswipe were supposed to be working together today, but they can never agree long enough to accomplish anything. That's fascinating. I wonder if Greyswipe has a different view of Peppa to Dog Pounce. I wonder if Greyswipe is one of the cats who feels like the clan was... Oh, but I don't know. I don't think she would feel that way. I was gonna say, is she one of the cats who feels the clan was better closed off? But no, because she is kind of obsessively fond of her granddaughter Orchidshine, who only has a single prophetic bloodline. And I remember making the point that Greyswipe, because Greyswipe was causing trouble with Daypore. She was encouraging Daypore's dislike of Peppa, actually, because she was trying to freak Peppa out. I mean, not Peppa, Daypore out, that if the outsiders came in, then his importance would kind of go away, because Daypore has a triple prophetic bloodline. But then we were saying that Greyswipe probably doesn't hold Daypore in as high of an esteem because the grandchild that she's fond of only has a single prophetic bloodline. So I don't think Greyswipe would be like overly religious or faithful, you know? Because to her, the single line is more important because her granddaughter has a single line. And anything that makes her granddaughter less special is not special at all. So I think, that's what's going on with Grace White, but I wonder why then she doesn't like Pepper. Huh. Anyways, that's intriguing. When tucking in for the night, Pepper saw that Lupine Claw fixed his nest. Oh, that's adorable. So Lupine Claw, even though she's having these concerns about him or disagreement, she's fixing his nest. But I wonder, actually, instead of saying it's adorable, maybe it's not so adorable. Maybe Lupine Claw is worried about Pepper because not like she's concerned for him, she's concerned about him. And to kind of keep him appeased, because we don't know what she's learned, but to keep him appeased, she is going out of her way to do things like this, where she's fixing his nest to make sure that he's pleased. But why is she wanting to please him? What has she discovered about him? I don't know. Okay, Daypore tries to do something like Dark Pounce, but just ends up getting embarrassed. Oh, Daypore. Oh, Daypore. Are you related to Dark Pounce in any way? I don't know. I don't think... No, yes! Daypore is your great-grandmother. Oh, that's adorable. Graypore is your great-grandmother. Yes. These are your grandkids. Right, okay. It doesn't show your great-grandparents here. That would be nice if they did. But yeah, Daypore is trying to copy his great-grandmother, but he doesn't have the experience that she does, and he ends up embarrassing himself. Oh, Daypore. That was kind of adorable, though. Well, it seems that's all we have for events, so let me cut the recording here, and we'll catch up in the cat list. Let us resume with the cat list. First up, we have loyalties, where nothing has changed, so we still have Pepper, Oddsnarl, Magpie Heart, Dark Pounce, and Grace Wipe, who are loyal to Lyrestar. So let's just see what everyone's up to. Lyrestar asks for extra work, sure that he can handle it. Guys, I'm telling you, he does not like his deputy. He hates his deputy. Actually, I'm curious, how does he feel about the people he's working with in politics? So, Plum Raven, Buttercup Dusk, Peppa I'll have to check separately, but let's just get him. I want to see, how does he feel about these cats that he's working with? And actually, yeah, how do they feel about each other? So Lyrestar hates Plum Raven, which is pretty clear to us. He definitely hates his deputy, so I feel like ever since Plum Raven has been appointed as deputy, he has been basically working on overtime to make sure that he is in good health, because he doesn't want to give her like any opportunities to step up and lead the other cats in his place. He does not like it. Whereas the deputy before her, I think it was Grace White, he actually was very fond of Grace White. So if we put Grace White up here, he was, look, very fond of her. He viewed her as his kind of younger sister almost. He had a lot of admiration for her, felt secure around her, and relied on her quite a bit. So he was like relaxed as could be. He did not mind being sick or hurt or just flopping around doing nothing, because he didn't mind Grace Wipe kind of taking the reins. He doesn't feel the same way about Plum Raven. He doesn't want to give her any opportunities. And it seems as though Plum Raven, she doesn't have any particularly strong feelings for Lyrestar. She's kind of happy to do her job, but that doesn't mean that she kind of reveres Lyrestar. She's like okay to step up and make up for the stuff he's not doing, but he just doesn't give her a chance. And how does he feel about his medicine cat? Okay, so they don't have strong feelings for each other, so when I don't see any green or red bars, that kind of tells me that they more or less are just working with each other. They don't have particularly strong feelings towards one another. They'll just kind of get the job done. They see each other as colleagues, and that's pretty much it. And the same is for Plum Raven. She just sees Lyrestar as a colleague. And obviously, we can't check with Peppa. But I wonder, how do Plum Raven and Buttercup Dusk feel about working with one another? Okay, that's interesting. Buttercup Dusk kind of just views Plumraven as a colleague. But Plumraven... Oh my goodness, guys. Hold on a second. When the heck did this happen? When the heck did this happen? Guys, Buttercup Dusk is mated to Plumraven's daughter, Stonespeck. Buttercup Dusk views, obviously, Plumraven as his mate's mother and as his colleague. I mean, the little bit of romantic like he has is from before he was paired up with Stonespeck. He was interested in Plumraven, but then he was paired up with Stonespeck to have a litter, and then ever since then, it's just been Stonespeck for him. But in the time since, it seems as though, guys, Plumraven has fallen in love with Buttercup Dusk. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So she kind of started viewing Buttercup Dusk, like liking him and viewing him as family because Buttercup Dusk is mated to her daughter. But then she kind of started realizing what an amazing cat Buttercup Dusk was, and she couldn't help it as they were working together more and more. She started falling in love with him, guys. This is a forbidden love. This is a forbidden romance, and it's one-sided. Okay. I see you, Plumraven. I see you. Who was Plumraven mated to? Who was Plumraven? Was she mated? She was mated to Bubbling Gale, wasn't she? She was mated to Bubbling Gale. Huh. Wow, okay, my mind is kind of blown, guys. I was not expecting to discover this when I checked out. We need to do, this more often whenever we have promotions where we see how the cats, in politics feel about each other. That is very, very fascinating. Okay, I want to see how Peppa and Lysta feel about, or how, Peppa feels about all his colleagues. The cool thing about the mediation screen as well is that you can kind of check both at the same time. But yeah, I want to see what's going on with these guys. So Lysta, how do you feel about working together with Peppa? Okay, he just views Peppa as a colleague. He doesn't feel too specially about Peppa, which makes me feel a little bit bad because Peppa is one of his loyalists. I feel like Peppa is putting Lysta on a bit of a pedestal, but Lysta almost kind of views Peppa's existence as, a little bit insignificant. He doesn't really care too much. Okay, how about Plumraven? How does she feel about working with Peppa? She views Peppa like a colleague. Doesn't feel anything too special about Peppa. Okay, interesting. And at Buttercup Dusk, he has been interacting with Peppa quite a lot. Yeah, but he kind of just views Peppa as a colleague. Nothing too big. I feel a bit bad for Peppa. It seems as though he's having a little bit of a tough time getting into everyone's good books. I mean, yes, they've accepted him out of necessity, but that doesn't mean that they truly want him here. And you know what? I feel like the cats won't fully accept Peppa until he has a litter with Cloudfur and kind of proves why he's here. Because they are going to be attached to the litter regardless, right? For a lot of them, this litter that comes in through Cloudfur is going to be family. So they'll be attached to the litter. And if Peppa has his name attached to that litter as well, then it'll give him some sort of acceptance in the clan. That he is also, through blood now, family too. But until that point, I think a lot of them will still kind of view him as a bit of an outsider or not give him as much importance as they give each other. But Peppa, how do you feel about the cats you're working with? Okay, so we have Lysta, who he kind of feels... I mean, he is loyal to Lysta, but I suppose he doesn't feel that strongly about Lysta. Yeah, so he views Lysta as a colleague, Buttercup Dusk as a colleague, and... Oh, Plumraven he hasn't even met at all, or interacted with. I suppose that tells me that he stays out of Plumraven's way. He just, for whatever reason, Peppa has not had the courage to introduce himself to Plumraven or to, interact with her much. So he kind of just stays out of Plum Raven's way. Maybe he gets intimidated by Plum Raven and her presence. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I look at all the cats here, I feel like Buttercup Dusk has the strongest presence out of all the cats. So I can see why Pepper interacts with Buttercup Dusk quite a lot. He can't help but gravitate towards him. And Buttercup Dusk is kind of very welcoming. But Plum Raven is also playful, just like Buttercup Dusk. But for some reason, Pepper finds her, maybe because she's deputy, even though she's newly been made deputy, but he finds her very intimidating. So he doesn't interact with her at all. Huh. Okay, well that was very, very fascinating. I learned some very interesting things. But let's see what all the cats are doing for the day. Lystar, like we said, asked for extra work. Plum Raven. Wait, did I already go through this? I don't know. I don't think I went through this. I think a lot of this... Hold on a second. Did I go through this? Some of these look familiar. Some of them don't, though. Some of them don't look familiar. Okay. I don't think I've gone through a lot of them. I think I went through Lystar, and then I got curious about how he feels about the other cats. Yes, okay. So, Lystar asks for extra work, sure that he can handle it. Plum Raven is inventing a fun game to make patrol assignments more engaging. She was doing this in the last moon, which is why I was getting confused about whether I read it or not. But yeah, she was doing this in the last moon, and it seems as though she is having way too much fun being a deputy. Buttercup Dusk is chattering at the birds in the trees above. He was also doing this in the last episode, which is why I got confused. Pepper wishes his clanmates would just talk to each other. Maybe he's noticing. Maybe in his mediation, like we saw, he probably noticed that Lystar hates his deputy, and he's thinking, oh, why can't the leader and the deputy just talk it out and, fix things between them, because surely that's going to be a problem for communication. Cloudfair is relieved Leaf Bear is finally over. Shadowspell hopes the deputy won't assign her to the Dawn Patrol tomorrow. Stone Speck is looking forward to finding more prey as the snow melts. Rowan Pelt wishes he could take the day off. Oddsnarl hopes the deputy won't assign her to the Dawn Patrol tomorrow. Orchidshine takes pride in how well-run her patrols always are. Lupine Claw is thinking about a strange tool-like object she saw recently. Magpie Heart keeps checking his nest for birds. Bonesong is looking longingly at the other cats as they talk amongst themselves. Daypaw is cleaning blood from his claws. Daypaw, your father... okay, maybe your father doesn't give as much importance to Pepper, but he's decent with Pepper. Considering that, I feel like you have too strong of an opinion, young one. Okay, Dark Pounds lets out a big yawn. And I also feel like the last patrol we did in the previous episode with Daypaw and that small dog that was attacking his patrol, but they all fought off, I think that would have fed his bloodthirstiness, which is probably not, or his bloodthirst, which is probably not a good thing. Okay, Dark Pounds lets out a big yawn. Slumber Roach is grumbling about the weather. Bubbling Gale feels content with having reached such a highly respected role. And Gracewipe is feeling trapped inside camp. I'm surprised Bubbling Gale is now feeling content. But you know what? I guess he's had enough moons to kind of settle into being an elder or being retired. In the first few moons of his retirement, I think he struggled a little bit to just relax, chill. But I think now he's getting a hang of it. But guys, now that we took a look at what's happening in mediation with Pepper, and Lupine Claw was having that secret she discovered about Pepper, and then she was having bad dreams about Pepper, and then she was trying to be nice to Pepper, I wonder if it has something to do not with Pepper himself, but the secrets that Pepper is discovering now in politics. And those secrets being that Lystar, well, I don't know if the cats are aware that Lystar hates Plum Raven. They would be. But what nobody knows is that Plum Raven has fallen in love with her daughter's mate, with Buttercup Dusk. And maybe Pepper has found this out because of his unique position. And maybe Lupine Claw somehow found this out from Pepper and found out that Pepper knows about this situation. And I wonder, how are they all related? So, I mean, Stonespeck is her aunt. So they would be kind of like her aunt and uncle. And her grandmother. Okay. So basically, maybe Lupine Claw is now worried. She's having these bad dreams. So after finding out that her grandmother is in love with her aunt's mate, maybe Lupine Claw had a bad dream that Pepper was going to kind of tell the others in the clan, and he was going to ruin Lupine Claw's family. He was going to cause problems in the family. And again, because the cats, like I've mentioned, have been viewing Pepper as an outsider, some of them do have these concerns about an outsider changing the dynamics or, ruining things the way they've been run for so long. And up till this point, like, we haven't had any issues, but maybe Lupine Claw feels as though now this outsider, she hasn't had a problem with him until recently, but maybe she feels as though this outsider, who's just entered politics, is now going to ruin things for her clan and her family. He's going to break her family apart by revealing that her grandmother is in love with her aunt's mate. And so she had a bad dream about that. And then she's been acting strange and trying to please Pepper, because even though Pepper doesn't know why, because Lupine Claw is hoping that Pepper's gonna think twice before kind of revealing information like that. She's hoping that Pepper's gonna keep her grandmother's secret so that the family doesn't get destroyed. Oh my goodness. Secrets, drama. I think that's what's happening. I think that is what's happening. But okay, guys, I'm gonna cut the recording here and we are going to resume in patrols. We are resuming in patrols. I am still reeling from having discovered some family secrets, or the big family secret that's happening right now. It is wild. But Buttercup Dusk, the center of our secret and drama, he unknowingly, he doesn't know all the storm that's going on around him, but he is going to, in his, usual playful mood, go off and do his herb gathering. So let's send him out. While searching for some specific herbs, Buttercup Dusk is startled by weird sounds and whispers on the wind. Proceed. The sounds die away and then start up again in strange, unpredictable intervals. Investigating, Buttercup Dusk suddenly finds himself nose to nose with a panting, bleeding queen, one desperately trying to keep their newborn litter quiet. Buttercup Dusk brings the queen back to camp where the clan can assist. Look at this, guys! New blood for Lightless Clan! We have Tulip Whisker join the clan, Hush Kit, Apple Kit, Vol Kit, and and Orchid Kit. We have another Orchid Kit. And our clan's reputation towards outsiders has improved. Okay, so we just got a whole bunch of new blood that we are gonna help guide back to Lightless Clan. Now, where is this queen? Oh, she looks pretty. Tulip Whisker. She looks pretty. Form me a kitty pet. Sneaky, great speaker, young adult female with pale green eyes, a marbled pelt. And let's see. Okay, she used to live on something called a boat with two legs, but decided to join the clan. Oh, well, she kind of got into some problems, and then she found her way to the exit, or the entrance to the mountain, and then I think we found her, and now Buttercup Dusk is going to help guide her inside the mountain to the Lightless Cats, which she can kind of raise her offspring in relative safety. So we have her, and then we have her youngsters. We have Hush Kit over here, an unruly female with pale green eyes, speckled coat, Apple Kit, that's such a cute name, a fearless male with pale green eyes and marbled coat, Volkit, I'm going to change Volkit's name, let's see, Valley Kit looks nice. So we have an impulsive male with pale green eyes and a masked coat, Otter Kit, impulsive female with pale green eyes and a marbled coat, and we have Orchid Kit, whose name I'm going to change because we have an Orchid Kit, Flurry Kit, Crow Kit, that's adorable. So you have Croquet, a daydreamer female with pale green eyes and a speckled coat. But all of these kittens, along with their mother, is going to be shown to Lightless Clan, and essentially they're going to be, you know, future genetic material for us inside the mountain. But Tulip Whisker, let's go and guide her to the Lightless cats, and we'll do the same for her kittens. And because they're going out together, obviously she's going to be able to look after all of her kittens. So go do that. Okay, here we go, here we go. Send out Otterkit, send out Croquet, and I imagine they did get some medical assistance from Buttercup Dusk before they left. So now they have joined the Lightless cats. And this is kind of the situation we had with Tempest Dream, Sycamore, Smoke, and with Tangle Quiver. They belong to a litter, and we found them as kittens, and we helped guide them to the Lightless Clan, and they ended up growing into adults, and now they are part of, you know, genetic material for us in the future that we will draw from when we need to. So this is amazing, actually, that we found Tulip Whisker and all these kittens, because now we have all these other, like, we've got other genes that will be useful to us in the future. Okay, returning to patrols. Let's go ahead and see what the rest of our cats get up to. And I think we're actually entering. This is now the second half of Daypor's apprenticeship. Yeah, because he's 9 moons old. So 9, 10, 11, he is entering the second half of his apprenticeship. So let's see what we get up to this time around. We are going to have 2 patrols of 6. We currently have 180.5 prey, and we need 44.5. So, okay, first up, Stone Speck, it seems, has decided to go back to her previous strategy of getting Dayport to observe from the other cats. I mean, the one patrol they had together only fed Dayport's bloodthirst. But I wonder if this is part of her strategy. She kind of keeps Dayport away for a couple of patrols, and then they consolidate everything he's learned together on a single patrol. So, okay. First up, we have Oddsnull, Stone Speck, Lyrestar, Lupine Claw, Magpie Heart, and Cloudfur. Let's see what they get up to. Lyrestar flicks his tail thoughtfully. What direction does he want to take this training patrol? Proceed. Everyone has had enough on their shoulders lately. Lyrestar decides to lead a casual sparring session, which ends with the patrol flopped around, chatting to each other. It's just what's needed to lower their stress levels. Look at that. That's quite nice. And then we have Daypor, Bonesong, Orchidshine, Rowan Pelt, Shadow Swirl, and Plum Raven who are going to go out. And it's very funny that Plum Raven is... I wonder if Plum Raven knows that Lyrestar hates her, so she's decided to not go on a patrol with him to maybe step on his toes. I don't know. I mean, she doesn't have a problem with Lyrestar, so I don't see why she would cater to him when making her own patrols. But I think that Lyrestar probably feels happy that he wasn't assigned to a patrol with her. Okay. Plum Raven wanders past an old badger set dug into the rocky hillside, only to freeze. There's a new scent here, acrid and sour. They should be okay, because we have a full patrol. Normally, the danger in coming across a badger only happens when we have a lone cat out. But in a group of 6, they're relatively safe. Proceed. Well, the only way to know is to check. Daypor scrambles into the den for a look, and it's only by the grace of Star Clan that is able to redirect that speed and twist around just as fast, furious fizzing following him up the burrowed tunnel, leaving behind clumps of his own fur. This is why we pay attention to commas, guys. This is why. Okay. Well, grammar. This is why I pay attention to grammar, because it helps us figure out the flow of words. Okay, well, that is done. And now we shall go back to camp. But Daypor, my goodness, he just came across a terrifying badger, I don't know who approved of Daypor sticking his head in there, but he almost died. Thankfully he didn't though. Hopefully he learned a very important lesson, right? I mean, in that situation, you don't dive headfirst and try and fight with a badger. You turn tail and you run the other way. So I hope that was a lesson for his bloodthirst. I really do. But okay guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.